We're not sure exactly what we want to do here. This Republican circle jerk is going on right now, so we're going to take some of this live through a feed from CNN.com. And we'll do it for a while until it becomes too difficult to deal with, and then we're going to take some phone calls, all right? So let's join CNN.com's coverage.
Father said, he said, all horse thieves are Democrats, but not all Democrats are horse thieves. In this instance, there are millions of peaceful Muslims across the world in countries like India where there is not the problems we are seeing in nations that are controlled, have territory controlled by Al-Qaeda or ISIS.
Hey, wait, what's he talking about? India. The Muslims and the Hindus there slaughter each other almost on a ritualistic basis. This is Rafael Cruz Jr., right? Stupid bastard.
This is the Christmas dinner debate. This will be the debate that Americans talk about at Christmas. And thus far, in the first 10 minutes, we haven't heard a lot about Ronald Reagan's city on a hill. We've heard a lot about keeping Americans out or keeping Americans safe and everyone else out. Is this what you want the party to stand for?
What I think we need to stand for are solutions. I offer myself as a leader to the people of this country because I think they're looking for solutions, not lawyers arguing over laws or entertainers throwing out sound bites that draw media attention. We need to solve the problem. To solve the problem, we need to do something here at home and something over there in their caliphate. We need to deny them territory. But here at home, we need to do two fundamental things. Number one, we need to recognize that technology has moved on. The Patriot Act was signed in 2001, roughly. The iPhone was invented in 2007.
Why is this woman still considered a serious candidate? Listen to this. Listen, go ahead.
Moved on with it. Let me tell you a story. Soon after 9/11, I got a phone call from the NSA. They needed help. I gave them help. I stopped a truckload of equipment. I had it turned around. It was escorted by the NSA into headquarters. We need the private sector's help.
What the hell?
Because government is not innovating.
What?
Technology is running ahead by leaps and bounds.
She got a call from the SNA to turn a truck around. Oh, way to go, Carly. All right.
I will ask them. I know them.
I just wonder why they didn't call Dick Cheney. He could have had the goddamn truck blown up.
Americans are clearly more afraid today than at any time since 9/11. As you mentioned in your opening statement today in Los Angeles, 650,000 school children didn't go to school because of an email threat. This 2 weeks after an attack killed 14 people in San Bernardino. Is this the new normal? And if so, what steps would you take as President of the United States to ensure that fear does not paralyze America?
Wolf, unfortunately, it's the new normal under Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. The fact is that if you listen to Hillary Clinton the other day, what she said to the American people was, as regards to ISIS, my strategy would be just about the same as the president's. Just about the same as the president's? We have people across this country who are scared to death. Because I can tell you this, as a former federal prosecutor, if a Center for the Developmentally Disabled in San Bernardino, California, is now a target for terrorists, that means everywhere in America is a target for these terrorists. Now, I spent 7 years of my life in the immediate aftermath of September 11th doing this work. Working with the Patriot Act, working with our law enforcement, working with the surveillance community to make sure that we keep America safe. What we need to do, Wolf, is restore those tools that have been taken away by the president and others. Restore those tools to the NSA and to our entire surveillance and law enforcement community.
What tools have been taken
we need a
away?
president who's going to understand what actionable intelligence looks like and act on it. And we need a president and
act on intelligence like Osama bin Laden determined to strike in America? Oh, Christy, sit your farty ass down. Go block up another bridge. Jesus, this is ridiculous.
One of the killers in San Bernardino was an American who was not on anyone's watch list. How are you going to find that radicalized person and stop another such attack?
Well, first of all, Wolf, I said last February that we needed to have people on the ground, troops on the ground, in a coalition similar to what we had in the first Gulf War. I remember when the Egyptian ambassador to the United States stood in the Rose Garden and pledged Arab commitment to removing Saddam Hussein from Kuwait. Before we came out here tonight, I am told the Saudis have organized 34 countries who want to join in the battle against terrorism. First and foremost, we need to go and destroy
The Saudis are the sponsors. They're the sponsors, the financiers, the schoolmasters of terrorism. Kasich, wake your Ohio ass up, will you? Oh, my God.
Across this world. Now, you destroy ISIS in a coalition, you get joint intelligence with our European friends, and then here at home, there are things called the Joint Terrorism Task Force, headed by the FBI and made up of local law enforcement, including state police. They need the tools, and the tools involve encryption, where we cannot hear what they're even planning. And when we see red flags, a father, a mother, a neighbor who says we got a problem here, then we have to give law enforcement the ability to listen so they can disrupt these terrorist attacks before they occur. We can do this, but we got to get moving. Pay me now or pay me a lot more later.
Thank you.
This is the direction we need to go.
Thank you. Dana Bash, you have the next question.
A crucial question is how to balance surveillance with privacy and keeping Americans safe. Senator Cruz, you voted for a bill that President Obama signed into law just this past June that made it harder for the government to access Americans' phone records. In light of the San Bernardino attack, was your vote a mistake?
Well, Dana, the premise of your question is not accurate. I'm very proud to have joined with conservatives in both the Senate and the House to reform how we target bad guys. And what the USA Freedom Act did is it did two things. Number one, it ended the federal government's bulk collection of phone metadata of millions of law-abiding citizens. But number two, and the second half of it that is critical, it strengthened the tools of national security and law enforcement to go after terrorists. It gave us greater tools, and we are seeing those tools work right now in San Bernardino. And in particular, what it did is the prior program only covered a relatively narrow slice of phone calls. When you had a terrorist, you could only search a relatively narrow slice of numbers, primarily landlines. The USA Freedom Act expands that, so now we have cell phones, now we have internet phones, now we have the phones the terrorists are likely to use, and the focus of law enforcement is on targeting the bad guys.
According to Politico, before the debate began, back in the spin room, affectionately called by the crack news media who are supposed to cover this kind of a circle jerk, Ben Carson was asked whether he needed to ramp things up in order to grab more attention, because Carson has become the disappearing candidate, sort of like Rick Santorum a couple of years ago. So the retired neurosurgeon was ready with a sharp comeback when he was asked if he needed to, ramp things up, get a little feisty in order to grab some attention. And he said, quote, "Well, maybe I'll bring some weapons with me, spice it up a little bit," end quote. Jesus H. Christ. Bring some weapons with you.